Hello everyone, this is cyanobacteria training for Vermont Inland Lakes for cyanobacteria volunteer monitors. I'm Angela Shambaugh with the Vermont DEC Lakes and Ponds program. This is part 3 of our training. Today I'm going to be talking about how you will upload your reports to the cyano tracker interface that is maintained by the Vermont Department of Health. You should have received from me a username and a password. You'll use these every time you sign in. You can see that when you go to the address noted in the bar here at the top of the page, you will get a box to sign in. Usually your first time signing in, you'll get asked if you want to save your password. I would recommend it. It's a lot easier to work that way. Bookmark the page and have your password saved. At any rate, go ahead and open the web page, sign in, put your username in place and sign in. When that happens, the tracker will open up and you'll see a map of Vermont. You can navigate to your site in one of two ways. Circled at the left, you'll see enter site number. If you type in the site number that you were assigned and your number is less than 400 as of July 2nd, 2018. If your number is less than 400 when you type in the site number, tracker will automatically take you to your site. If you're greater than 400, you're going to have to navigate to the site yourself. In that case, you will enter the town name, and when you click locate, you will be taken to the town, and then you'll have to zoom in and look for your lake location. When you find it, the tracker will show you a station number if you again have a station number assigned, or another target for that location. If you don't have a station number assigned, you may need to pin your point yourself using the new report form, and I'll show you how to do that. When you've clicked, when you've entered a site and used Zoom to Site, take your mouse over to the new report box, click on that box, and you will see that your mouse now has a white box attached to it that says click to submit it to provide a new report. Do that, and one of two report forms will open up for you. If you use that Zoom to Site option, the form on the left will open for you. It will be populated with a varying degree of information. Often the lake, region, and municipality, as well as the site and station, will show. Depends on, again, which location you have and where it's located. But in many cases, the new report pops up well populated, and you don't have to do as much typing. For those of you that have numbers greater than 400 currently, you will need to fill in all those spaces yourself. You can see the little gray arrows located to the right of each of those boxes. That's a drop-down menu. If you cannot find your lake or your site or your municipality in there, please use Other, and we will make the change later. This is a minimized version of the report that you see here. At the top right-hand corner of each of those report forms, you'll see an X and a box. If you click on the box, that will expand the form so that you can see much more of it. You can also use the scroll bars. So please complete the form. You will be prompted if you do not enter data into the boxes marked with an asterisk. Then again, there are drop-down menus to assist you with that selection. There are several report types that appear when you click on that drop-down menu. It can say routine weekly, routine biweekly, or supplemental. Supplemental reports are reports that are made not on your normal reporting day, or if you are submitting a second report in 1 week. If you were out on Monday and reported at your location that conditions were 1A, but you went out on Thursday and you saw that a bloom was forming and you want to report a Category 2 bloom report, that second report that you submit would be sent in as a supplemental report. Remember that we ask you to provide photos whenever you are providing information about a Category 2 or Category 3 situation. Please name your photos very carefully. We realized last year that photos and data are stored separately, and we need to have photos very clearly labeled so that we can put it back together with your report. So include the year, the date, your name, your location, what kind of photo it is so that we can distinguish them. They're stored on your computer as any normal photo would be. So by clicking under attachments here, you can see at the bottom of the new report form there is an attachment section where you can click browse, and it acts just like your computer. Then it should open up your file explorer so you can find and attach your photos. You will need to attach each photo individually, and then once you've done so, there is an option to save them. You can add more than one photo, and you can also click on the link. You can see that it shows in blue here on the image. Click it, make sure it's the right photograph that you're sending. If it isn't, you can click on the red X to the side of the name, and the photo will disappear, and you can add the correct one. You're ready to submit your report at this point, but please do go back and check everything. Verify that you have the correct station. It's easy with drop-down menus to select the wrong station. Verify the date as well. On those forms, when they pop up, the date is automatically noted on the form, and it is the day that you are submitting the report. So if you are typing in the report today, but you actually made the observations yesterday, you need to click on the drop-down arrow and make sure that you are selecting the correct day for your report. Make sure all your photos are showing up, and then you can click submit. Some computers, the mouse or the pointer is more sensitive. Make sure that you're seeing the little, the little hand with the finger pointing when you click submit, so that the report actually is going to go in. When you do have a successful upload, you'll get a confirmation screen that says your data has been transmitted to the Department of Health website. Reports will eventually appear on the tracking map that is available to view through the Vermont Department of Health website. There will be a colored dot on your site. It will be green for conditions that fall in the category 1. It will be yellow for any category 2 conditions. It will be red for category 3, and that corresponds to generally safe, low alert, and high alert. There should also be a record in the spreadsheet that you can see on the right side of the form. There should be a record for the report that you just submitted. If you go back a few hours later and notice that your report is not there, please let us know. Occasionally they do kind of get hung up in the process, but we also go through and confirm them to, we review your report, make sure that all the information is entered correctly, and that we also, if in the case of a category 2 or category 3 alert level report, we also confirm that we agree with that evaluation. So give us a little while to complete that confirmation process. But if you don't see your report that you've uploaded, please let us know. We have occasionally run into issues with the cyanobacteria tracking system not correctly categorizing the dots by date. In that case, you may open up the tracker to look for your report and see that all the dots will be the same color. We've been using lavender. You can still continue to find specific sites by clicking on the dot associated with them. And again, the spreadsheet on the right side of the page will be active and open. So there are some common issues with uploads that folks run into. Often your device can't access the site, or entering data is really difficult. In many cases, this is connected to the browser that you're using. We recommend using Mozilla Firefox or Chrome. We find that folks having issues tend to have it when they're using Internet Explorer or Edge. So Firefox or Chrome are your best browser choices. Your device may not have compatible software. That does happen occasionally. This year, in 2018, we found that iPads, Galaxies, and Windows 8 and 10 have been working well. Sometimes the report form disappears when you're entering data. Sometimes you can call it back, sometimes you can't. Please go ahead and re-enter the data. If there happens to be a duplicate report for that day, we can delete it at our end. Occasionally, we do have a software glitch that has masked the new report on the map with an older one. If you see that happening, please let us know. Shortly after that, you may see that the map then goes to have lilac colored dots instead of the red, yellow, green. Sometimes folks can't save the report. It's not really clear what is going on here. It could be software incompatibility. It could just be a bad day. You can email us the report. You can use Bloom Alert. You can use the DEC web-based form or the Lake Champlain Committee web-based form. In all cases, if you do have issues with upload, please make good notes and maybe take screenshots and send us as much information as you can about the type of computer you're using, the type of browser you're using, your browser version, that kind of thing. It helps the folks at the Department of Health troubleshoot those problems. So for 2018, we are still working to get a few people login credentials and site numbers. Again, those of you that have new sites, numbers, typically sites higher than 400, may find that the forms do not autofill, or you may need to use the supplemental form at first. We're hoping to get those sites in soon so that we can make it as easy for you as possible, but if you run into trouble, that's what you may need to do. Don't forget to label your photos using the method that we've outlined for you, and all sites, all reports must have a site number. You'll find that if you try and submit a report that doesn't have a site number, it will not be accepted by the software. If this is because you are reporting at a site you happen to be passing by where you saw a bloom and there really is no site number associated with that because it is an unusual location, please go ahead and send that report to either Bloom Alert at, no, go ahead and send it to Bloom Alert at vermont.gov because the health department does need to assign a site number before we can post that report through Tracker. Make sure you include a very clear description of the location, the lake that it's on, and attach your photo documentation just like you would to any other report that you're sending in. And we appreciate it if you do happen to see blooms in locations other than your normal reporting site. It would be great to have that information. So after you send in a report, as I mentioned, we confirm every report. So we will review your report. We'll make corrections to the small things like typos or making sure that your time uses 24-hour military time instead of AM and PM, that kind of thing. If we have questions about your evaluation of the conditions that you observed, if you've submitted photos for a Category 2 or a Category 3 and we have some questions, we'll get in contact with you. If you didn't submit photos with a Category 2 or Category 3, we'll get in contact with you. Again, we want to make sure that we have the best possible information up there, and we will work with you to make sure that we're in agreement about what you've been seeing. Once it's been confirmed, then that information and the photos are added to the map and to our database. Vermont does have legislation law, Act 86, that requires the Department of Health to begin outreach about cyanobacteria blooms that have been considered a public health risk, and they need to begin that outreach within 1 hour of confirming that risk exists. They do this by posting the information on the tracker and then reaching out to beach managers, town health officers, and drinking water facilities in that location who might be affected by cyanobacteria. It's not always easy to get in touch with those folks, so often the report will go up on Tracker first, and we will successfully contact those folks a little bit later on. Town health officers have signs and are the ones that can go out and post a beach, close a beach, mark a recreation path, that kind of thing. So the health department works with them to determine what kind of steps should be taken next. It may include testing the water for cyanobacteria toxins. We don't need to do that in order to close a beach or post a warning sign, but in some cases we will go ahead and do that testing. Please remember that every report is important. Even if you go all summer long and never see a cyanobacteria bloom, that is really important information for us to have. We have more than 800 lakes in Vermont that are above 20 acres and a whole lot that are smaller than that. We don't always have information for those lakes, so any information we can get, even if it includes no cyanobacteria blooms observed over the course of the summer, is very good for us. We are here to help. You can see the web pages here for the Vermont Department of Health, for the Lake Champlain Committee, and for the Vermont DEC. We have on the Vermont DEC web pages a volunteer resource section where you can see the videos that I've recorded about cyanobacteria monitoring. lots of photographs, and all sorts of information. The same thing on the Lake Champlain Committee volunteer pages. If you've got something weird, go ahead and send me a photo directly. If you want, you can send us a sample. I'm always happy to look at samples because that increases my knowledge at the same time. If you want to do that, give me a call or send an email so that we can make sure that you have the correct address and I have a heads up that there is a sample coming my way. My contact information is there below on the left. Jeremy Holland is my summer assistant in 2018, and you can reach him via email. And again, you're probably watching this as an online recording. The two previous portions of the training, which are an introduction to cyanobacteria and an introduction to the visual assessment protocol that we use to evaluate cyanobacteria condition, are also available online, and you can get to them through the Vermont DEC volunteer resource page. And again, have a good day. Hope to see you on the water.